if you're voted the best by your peers, the guys that you play against and with, week in, week out, in the top league in England, and they say, you're the best, then that's special. I don't care what anyone says, that is special. I was 19, 20. I was a baby, and the manager was kind of scary, and he wasn't great on individual awards, Ron Saunders. He was more of a team person. He wanted the team to be recognised, not individuals. When he called me and says, I'm not letting you go, I was gutted, but I somehow thought, well, okay, he knows best. And it was only after that, in the years that I went and attended the awards, that I realised what he'd denied me. And that's when it hit home more than ever, that what he had done was just wrong.
You're part of a special legacy, being that you were the first to win Young Player and Player of the Year at the time, but only Gareth Bale and Cristiano Ronaldo have followed.
It's not bad, is it? I'm in good company.
Yeah, how do you reflect on? Because it isn't a remarkable achievement.
My kids love it. Let me tell you what, my kids love it. They think, look at my Dad's done the same as Ronaldo, and he's done the same as Gareth Bale, because none of them saw me play at my best, none of them. So they've only had me tell me stories, but when something is black and white like that, and the kids can read it and feel proud, that's what it is. So that's been wonderful for me to have that. But at the time, I didn't know. In fact, Derek Dougan asked me to give one of the awards away.
What was that conversation like?
Well, anybody who knows me will tell you that they wouldn't have been surprised if I'd have said, okay, I don't want the awards to be spoiled. You know, Derek had said, you've won both, Andy. Saunders is not letting you come. Would you give away the Young Player of the Year award so we can at least give it to somebody there? And I very nearly said yes, Marcus. I mean that. I very nearly said, okay, I don't want the awards to be spoiled. But something inside me says, no. The thing that clinched it, he says, if you give one away, Andy, we won't ever release that you won both. And I went, well, Derek, I'm sorry, but if I've won both, I'd like to have both. And if you hadn't have said that, I might have given one away.
First full season in England, when you won it. What are your memories from that season? Maybe going from Scotland to England and then subsequently establishing yourself that quick. 29 goals in all competitions that season as well.
It was an amazing season where it started brilliantly, from the August right through. Everything I hit seemed to turn to gold. Everything I headed seemed to go in top corner. It was just goal after goal after goal. I kept myself fit as well, which is great. The team were playing fantastic football. I had a brilliant strike partner in Brian Little, who was just an amazing foil for me.
Try to explain that, like you alluded to, the flow, the touch, the feel where everything goes in. What does that feel, smell like?
Powerful. It feels powerful. It's again, it's not something, I worked really hard at finishing. I worked really hard at training. That season, everything that I'd worked hard at came to fruition. I was fit, I was young, I was aggressive, I was determined, I was ambitious, I was hugely ambitious. I hated losing. All those combinations come together. And when a chance comes, like if the ball was being built up and Brian Little had got that, and I'm with the centre back, I knew exactly where I was going. And so did Brian Little. And that gave us a huge advantage over what was happening. And if he did that, and if we combined like that, there was very little anyone could do.
Looking back at your playing career, what would you say you're most proud of?
This. Without a doubt, this. Playing for my country, wonderful. Scoring goals for my country, amazing. I never thought I'd do that, I did. Winning the FA Cup, brilliant. Winning the League Cup, brilliant. Winning the league in Scotland and England, brilliant. Winning the European Cup Winners' Cup, brilliant. But when your peers say, you're the best this year, that eclipses everything. I was fortunate enough to play with the greatest player I ever played with for my country, and that was Kenny Dalglish. Best player I ever played with. His brain was just like a computer. He was sensational. Loved playing with him the few times we played at Scotland. he was undoubtedly the best player I ever played with. His ability on the football was second to none. He would have been like a modern day number 10. He wasn't like me or Rushy. You know, he played with Ian Rush at Liverpool, obviously, and created so many goals for Rushy. But he was more like a 9.5. He wouldn't play right up there because he was too gifted. His control, his vision, his touch on the football, fantastic. His creation, unbelievable. And he could finish. He was a brilliant finisher, Kenny. Kenneth Matheson, I think is his middle name. Kenneth Matheson Dalglish is definitely my centre forward and my five-a-side. Now, my goalkeeper's interesting because I haven't picked a goalkeeper, right? Because there's only two, both brilliant keepers, but I played against both of them. Scored against both of them, but played against them as well. But because it's only five-a-side, I've gone for one of the best centre-backs that I played against and coached, and that's Paul McGrath. Paul was phenomenal. We'd go to Villa, Ron Atkinson and I would come out for training. Boys would go out there, Paul would come half jogging out. Ron would go, Paul, go over bath. I'd go, what? All right, go over bath. Tuesday, Paul, go over bath. Wednesday, Paul, go over bath. Thursday, Paul, go over bath. Friday, Paul, come and stand and do the free kicks with us, Paul. Paul would do that a lot of weeks, and he'd be the best man on the pitch on the Saturday. Phenomenal footballer. Phenomenal. Midfield, I'm getting personal when I say midfield. My next player is a mate of mine who was, I've mentioned, I'm in part of the Everton revival, part of that great team. Won it the year after I left, I think, or a couple of years after I left, the PFA. Peter Reid. Brilliant. Great leader. Hated losing. You know, he was an N'Golo Kante. If the kids of today wonder what Peter Reid was like, he was like Kante. Wasn't the biggest, but he was everywhere on the pitch, everywhere, and he could play. So if I was thinking of someone to say who was really like N'Golo Kante, he was sensational. He was so important for Everton, so important. Another player, as an attacking player, I'm going for. That's it. That's my defensive unit gone, apart from Dalglish, obviously. My other two, I cannot not pick Kevin De Bruyne. His consistency levels are wonderful. His quality is second to none. His attitude is brilliant. Okay, he had a fallout in the World Cup, but you know, we can have these bad days. But you cannot pick, I don't think you could pick a team without him in it. And I'm leaving a lot of good players out, but I can't leave Kevin out. And last but by no means least is the man that took 27 years after I won it, I think it was 27, before someone else did it again. And that was win both Young and Player of the Year, and that has to be Cristiano Ronaldo. And I don't think there's an argument about that. He arrived as a player who was young, naive, innocent at times, flicks and tricks and not a lot else, people criticising him, but learned very, very quickly that the art of being a footballer was more than that, and the Premier League was good for him because it toughened him up and it made him realise what he had to do to achieve that. But what he did achieve is just off the charts. This was not a natural footballer for me, like Messi, right? Messi was natural. Any time in the world, throw Messi a ball and he could do whatever he wanted with it. He was just born to be a footballer. Cristiano Ronaldo made himself a footballer. Cristiano Ronaldo made himself that fit. Cristiano Ronaldo made himself that determined, and nothing got in the way of that. And that's when we talk and debate about who's the best ever, I would pick Ronaldo because what he achieved not only in Portugal, but when he left, and he did it in Spain, he did it in England, he did it everywhere he went, and that's what makes him special. And I can't not pick him. Can I have a sub?
You can have a sub.
I'm going to have a sub because I love this guy. I mean, he divides opinions sometimes, because he's quite outspoken at times, but I loved him. As a player, I would have had him in my side. He was Alex Ferguson on the pitch. What Fergie was off it, he took onto the pitch. That's Roy Keane. As I say, there's a lot of thought people are divided with Roy, and some like, some don't. For me, he might not be the greatest player, but as a captain, a leader, all those sort of things, and he was a really good player, Roy Keane. He's my sub.